good morning, good day, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to Elden Ring. This is going to be fun. Kind of an unplanned stream here. Well, originally I thought, at some point this week I should actually, do important stuff, but, fuck that. No, I don't have that much else to do, right? I mean, work's going to be tomorrow and Saturday anyway, so I thought to myself, well, why not continue streaming Elden Ring? Yeah, that was basically my thinking. Also, I just updated my stream schedule, and the thing is going to be that I will kind of hold off on streaming 14, at least this week probably, mostly because the only thing that I'm currently doing is raiding, right? We're still reprogging T, and while I do think, or I would like to stream it in a way, first of all, we're still trialing someone, which I don't think necessarily needs to be, on the internet. Although I'm not streaming Discord audio anyway, but still, I think that's something that, doesn't need to be out there. And there is a couple of things that I might want to do in order to make raiding streams more exciting to watch. Because, me being silent the entire time because I can't stream the Discord audio is just not the best solution. I never really liked it. I wanted to stream it regardless, mostly because I also want the footage for myself, but especially with T and also with the reclays anyways, especially with the reclays actually, there isn't really that much point to it. Sure, for T it's great, but we have others in our static that can look at footage if need be, and so overall I think it just doesn't make that much sense to be streamed, I think. At the moment, anyway. And Final Fantasy XIV will return, at the latest with the next patch. There's probably also going to be some stuff in between where I just want to play it, right? Because obviously it's still one of my favorite games of all time. Yeah, so with all of that said, just for today, right, for the stream schedule, I cancelled the 14th stream. That being said, there is a whole lot of Elden Ring that we are going to do, and let me get rid of the holy shit, still epic, but also very, very intruding music here. Let's load the game. We're still in Stormwell Castle. Let me just finish one thing here real quick. Just wanted to update my own list on what games I want to play. It's mostly, it's a huge list anyway. It'll probably take me years to do, but I just want to have that to, not forget what kind of potential there might be for games. Okay, we're back in Stormwell Castle. I wouldn't say I spoiled myself, certainly not. I don't know anything about, potential bosses, items, whatever. But I did sort of read through a couple of first impressions here and there. And because I just wanted to sort of confirm or, how do I put it? All of the thoughts that I already mentioned on stream as well, right? I just kind of wanted to see how other people were echoing it or not echoing it, right? And I think, having read through a couple of things, there's definitely some interesting choices going on that FromSoft made in terms of balancing. And that is something that, I already noticed on stream. And it seems like other people have seen that as well, where the game is essentially, they made a couple of really, really, let's say, strong choices in terms of balancing in order to get you to explore the open world, which in my opinion is the wrong approach. Although again, obviously we need to see how that really unfolds throughout the game, because I'm very much still in sort of the first area, right? And I don't know how many there are. I don't know if it's even really areas that we could talk about, or if, the rest of the game is really just one giant open map or something. Ah, shit. Let me get a tissue here. What's going on with my nose? Drinking hot coffee. My nose is running in the morning. I mean, I just got up like 30 minutes ago, so it might be because of that. But yeah, that is something that I also felt. I'm just not really that sure how it will play out throughout the game. And I mean, I said multiple times already, right, that I feel like I'm underleveled for Stormwell Castle, and I was very much also underleveled for Margit when I attempted the boss. And I still think I am. Or rather, yeah, you can't really say underleveled, right? It's not necessarily your level that's meaningful, but rather, well, your damage output mostly, because I think what they've done here is mostly introduce HP values that kind of force you to upgrade your weapons or upgrade your overall ability to deal damage to a boss, right? That doesn't necessarily need to be an upgraded weapon. It can be a multitude of different things. And also with the sort of other bosses in between, or even these big open areas with a lot of enemies in them, I do feel like they specifically designed these areas in a way where, especially here with Stormvale, you essentially have like a gameplay loop of, exploring Stormvale a little bit, uncovering or discovering enemies that are really, really hard to deal with, challenging to deal with, and going back into the open world, finding a bit more stuff, upgrading your character, then coming back and dealing with the enemies that were giving you trouble before. Overall, that in and of itself isn't a bad thing at all. I do think that's a very interesting choice. It's certainly one that's, not unique, but very novel these days, I would say. And definitely very different to how other open world RPGs are approaching this whole thing. The problem is that I feel like it's a bit too on the nose, right? It's very, very clear that they're doing that. And that's why I was checking on things. Again, I didn't get spoiled, thankfully, about anything. But just some general impressions seem to confirm what I was already thinking. That FromSoft is essentially balancing this game in a way where they want you to go out into the open world to upgrade your character. And yeah, that's cool. That's an interesting choice. It's just too on the nose. It should feel more natural to do, I feel like, right? And I also think that other games have had better ways of, I don't know. I'm just struggling with the basic concept here, right? Because it's such a weird way of dealing with it. Give me a second. Okay. Just had to blow my nose. Okay, yeah, but it's kind of a weird way of dealing with it, because they're sort of, I don't know, do I want to say they're taking the negative approach? I don't know if that really fits, but what I mean by that is that they present you with a challenge that is like very, very hard to conquer, right? Obviously, you can, either by being really, really good or by sort of cheesing your way through enemies, which is definitely possible. Or rather, I wouldn't call it cheese in this way, because it doesn't feel like it is. It's more of a brute force situation, I think. Because no matter what you do, in most cases, enemies can very much still easily kill you. So you need to be, you still need to be somewhat skilled at what you're doing, or you need to have a clear idea of what you're trying to attempt, right? But obviously you can try to, for example, with the knights, right? You can try to backstab them. You can try and lure them to places where they can't hit, where they can hit you, not as easily as in other areas. So there's a couple of ways to sort of brute force your way through. And then obviously you can summon spirits. I haven't summoned online friends or anything, but I did summon Rogia for the Margit fight. Mostly to test out how summons work in this game. I sort of, didn't really realize that Margit is supposed to be a wall at that point. And again, especially with these summons that you can do, it's not easy to tell what FromSoft is trying to do at that point. Do they want you to upgrade your character first, or do they want you to summon? Right? There are these multiple paths, and in a way, obviously, you can say, well, yeah, it's an open world game. There are supposed to be multiple paths, but I don't feel like there are supposed to be multiple paths, because the way the game is designed and the way Stormveil Castle ultimately plays out, I don't think you're actually meant to get through Margit, even with summons, if you're not prepared for the rest of the castle. Right? It does feel like a situation where they maybe want you to truly upgrade your character in a way where you can defeat Margit on your own, because then you will be prepared for the challenges that are presented within the castle without having to brute force your way through. But, since you can summon, and you can summon those spirits and whatever, you can get through Margit, but then you're sort of not really prepared for anything in the castle. And, well, I managed to go through the castle, but as I said yesterday at the end of the stream, FromSoft games are best when their gameplay, when you really embrace their gameplay. But that's not really possible at this stage, because I am too weak for this area. And since this is my first playthrough, and, I wouldn't say I'm bad at these games, but I'm certainly not great either, right? So, I'm sort of struggling here and there, especially with the tougher opponents, right? And that can be, I wouldn't necessarily say frustrating, but it's definitely sort of these big obstacles that you have to overcome over and over and over again, and that drains you, right? And it takes, I would say, some fun out of the game. And that's where we run into a problem of, okay, well, why do they let you, for example, summon that NPC for the Margit fight if they don't want you to clear it yet, right? If they want you to go into the open world and discover a couple of other things first. Also, the problem is that the open world itself, the open world is great, but the way the game is structured makes you think, I have to go here first, right? Which is not the approach an open world should take at all, I think. And I said that pretty much from the very beginning. I don't think these golden grace ray things that point you towards Stormveil Castle, I don't think they should be a thing. If an NPC would tell you, oh yeah, this Godric guy, he is in Stormveil, but beware, he is the castle's very well protected. I think that's how they should have done that. Again, everything I'm saying here is always, of course, with, keeping in mind that I haven't played through the game, so I can't quite give context to everything what I'm saying here. But at this particular moment, it feels like they should have done this differently. It feels like instead of giving you these golden grace arcs that point you to in this direction, I was truly under the impression that the game wanted you to go to Stormveil first in order to actually get the story rolling, But that's very much not what they want you to do, apparently. Again, whether or not that is 100% true, we'll see. But it very much feels like that's actually not what they want you to do. So why then introduce those golden arcs, right? I would have very, very much preferred if that masked NPC at the beginning, for example, would have told you, hey, you need to get to, if you want to become Elden Lord, you need to go to, Godric and confront him in Stormvale Castle. But beware, the castle's very well protected. Prepare yourself, or something along those lines, right? And then they just let you out into the open world and try and level up your character. And I also, honestly, when I think about, well, we can maybe draw a couple of comparisons to The Witcher 3, for example, where you think like The Witcher 3 manages, The Witcher 3 has a lot of problems. Mainly it's combat and gameplay, animation stuff, a lot of problems there. But the open world is absolutely phenomenal. Like, absolutely phenomenal in its design and in what you can uncover and the quests that you can do and all that kind of stuff. And one thing that is absolutely stunning about The Witcher 3 is how they manage to seamlessly integrate optional quests into the main quest. Mostly by taking very, very good characters and characters you just want to know more about and giving you these side quests with them. And very naturally, over the course of the game, without you even having to explore, you just end up pretty much almost everywhere on the map, right? Because you want to. Because there's this carrot on the stick in all kinds of directions. And I feel like a little bit of a problem here with Elden Ring is, yeah, they have the open world, but again, they're sort of taking the backwards approach where they're saying, hey, there's this really tough challenge. Why not go out into the open world and find other stuff in order to then deal with that challenge? And, that can be one that can be one thing in order to motivate the player to go out into the open world and do stuff. But it can't be the only one. And that's where the problem lies. They need something else to entice you to go out into the open world. The world itself is great. The design is cool. But that in and of itself doesn't create a sense of, I want to discover this. You need something else. They need you to, it could be some sort of story that you want to uncover, some sort of NPC that you want to meet again. It could be an item that just tells you, oh, hey, there's, something great there or there. Like the painting that we found, right? That's telling us, oh yeah, you can go there. There might be treasure there. And, well, there's also, we did find a note at one of the vendors that was given to us that also tells you, oh, hey, there is some treasure somewhere. But I have no clue where that is, what the note is referencing, because it's not in the starting area and it doesn't tell you a direction specifically. It just mentions a place and then a direction. But if you haven't found the original place, then you can't do anything with it, right? So I feel like this game currently, at least in my opinion, is missing something that really entices you to go out and find it. And then on your way, you can discover other things. And I think, if we look at the map, that's sort of the problem, right? So the approach to if we again draw the comparison to Witcher 3, right? And I've sort of taken the same approach here as well. The approach usually is, okay, you start here, right? In this case, this golden thing points you in this direction, right? And then because it's an open world, you say, oh, yeah, it does point here, but why not? Let's go here as well, right? Let's go here as well. And I did do that. It's just not enough. They also apparently want you to, look at a bunch of other things before actually attempting the castle. And that doesn't really work out all that well. Especially because they then also place, for example, the giants here, right? And, this fight is really, really tough as well. There's the tough dragon here. all of those things make you think, oh, this is also quite challenging. It feels like I'm not really meant to go that direction yet, right? And I don't know, it sort of ends up being this weird thing of, well, the open world seems tough, the boss seems tough, apparently the game is just very challenging, and then you just, try everything in your power to get through those challenges, which is not what they want you to do. And that's, seems to be a very big problem, but yeah. Let's actually get into the game. I'm already talking way too much, although I still need to drink my coffee. And again, I'm just, these are sort of my first impressions here. It might very well be that at the end of the game I say, oh yeah, that first sort of introduction is really challenging, but it's really, really cool because it prepares you for the rest of the game or something like that, right? That can very well be the case. Almost like with, Sekiro, for example, also, does something interesting where they let you into Hirata Estate really, really quick. And if you manage to fight your way through to Lady Butterfly, she's going to be a hell of a tough challenge if you haven't really done other parts of the game. But if you do the other parts of the game first and fight against whatever that horse dude is, like the actual first boss of Sekiro, which is the guy on the horse, it's actually a really easy fight. And yeah, so if you go that route first, you will have a much easier time later on with Lady Butterfly as well. And, it ends up being this really, really cool experience. And, I think not only is Lady Butterfly one of the best bosses in FromSoft games in general, I would actually think, the whole Hirata Estate level is incredible in a multitude of ways. And yeah, while going through it, you don't necessarily think that, right? Because there are a couple of challenges that can be very frustrating there. So I'm just, just because my first impressions here of Elden Ring, are, I wouldn't say negative ones, but certainly things where I think that they might have done something wrong in terms of how they designed their world and the challenges within it. At the end of the day, we might think about that completely differently once we see even more of the game. Okay, long intro, let's get into it. So, I can take this path, which will probably lead me to Godric, at least I hope so. So I'm going to take, I guess I'm going to keep that for the end. Then we have this other elevator here that will potentially, at least look like it, maybe get us down into the catacombs, because there was some destroyed floor over here. And we still have the lion over here, which I think might be a worthwhile challenge. Before I do that, though, I want to go back to the place where the two knights were standing, and I want to check out something else as well. And that's something else. How do I do that? Where was that? Because I want to know the fog gate that I got rid of by inserting the stoneward key. I want to know if that's connected to the other fog gate I saw from this point. So let's go back here. Down there. Oh, I can actually see it from here. Okay. Whoa. So there's another fog gate down there. And that's still active. So I need another stoneward key to fully explore the castle. The thing is, I don't really know how to get down there, I think. Although, didn't I see the other side of that? I do remember seeing that you needed a stoneward key for that fog as well. Wait, where exactly does that go? That's where you... that's the knight with that guy. That's the chapel with Rogia in it. So through that, there's nothing else behind that. And that's the courtyard. Also, from this point of view, the glowing statue, where it's broken and sort of shines light outside of itself, or from within light shines out, it looks like an item from here. I wonder why they're doing that, because there were other items in the courtyard anyway. Interesting choice. Especially weird since it doesn't render the statue, but it does render the light. Okay. Also, there has to be a way to get onto these roofs somehow. I wonder if... No, I can't jump over from here. But there is, like, behind the edge, there is a... well, first of all, there's an item there, but also there's a bird there. I wonder how that's supposed to work. It is actually quite challenging to figure out what kind of ways are useful. So what's in this building? I'm currently kind of struggling to remember. Should I just try and get back into it? Or was there an easier way to... If I take the elevator, I will be at the bottom. Will I be at the bottom of this building? I think I actually want to go back there. Might also be just a good way to get back into it. The fuck? What? Thank you. That was weird. I don't have... Do I have... Wait. I need way more thin beast bones. I need to remember that once I go out back into the open world to actually farm them somewhere. Equipment, bolts. Well, I have 5 of these. Guess I can use them. It's a bit... The only thing with the crossbows, in order to aim, you need to two-hand it, which is a bit of a... Oh, whoopsie. Hello. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to switch my weapons back. Hello. I still very much like that. Because the cool part about that skull is, I think didn't I already find something where you can sort of disguise yourself? I mean, think about that in PvP, right? Disguising yourself, and then somebody turns the corner and you just go, hello. That would be, like, pretty cool. I wonder if... why did I find this guy once here? Like, why did he suddenly decide to come here? What is that reach? Holy shit. I swear to God, these guys. Of course I'm gonna die to him. These knights. I just don't know what I should do with them. How are you supposed to deal with them? I don't get it. I think I haven't actually defeated one of them once, like in like a normal way, right? They're always just, obviously you can backstab them and then do other stuff as well, but they're crazy strong and it's almost impossible to recover. I don't want to spend bolts on him though. Maybe let's just try and sneak by. Are you kidding me? What is this bullshit? Can you please just actually throw in the direction that I'm telling you to throw? Oh, for fuck's sake. God, the two-handing in this game is weird. Why did they do it this way? Bam. Okay. Does he actually fly towards me if I... Yeah, he does. Ooh, that was a bit too close for my liking. Also, that first attack, I think it actually stuns you a bit too much. I mean, I get that it's supposed to be strong, but, you know, you can just recover and hit the bird anyway, and it'll be dead, so why have that hugely over-exaggerated stagger animation? I can just wait for them to go back and then sort of go past them, I guess. Yeah, there was nothing here. He's still here, though. Why aren't you going back to the round table hold anyway?
Hello there. Good to see you safe. Stopping by to learn a battle art or two.
Actually, I could just spend the runes on these, right? I mean, Glintstone Pebble.
Oh, keen.
Okay. So he only tells you about their origin the first time you purchase something. Yeah, I mean, I'm really not sure what I'm supposed to make out of these. Ah, shit. Oh. Let's just get the fuck out of here. Also, he's sprinting, like, as if he wasn't already, like, tough enough. He's just sprinting after you. Okay, I remember. Okay, so this is how this was connected. I forgot about this room specifically. Is he still following me? I don't think he is. Probably turns the corner right when I say that. Huh? I guess he just gave up or went somewhere else. I mean, that's also a thing, right? In FromSoft games, you can definitely do this, right? You can just skip enemies. And the fact that they let you sneak and all that kind of thing, in a way, it's really cool that this is how it works, that they allow you to do that you can get through Stormvale Castle without necessarily having to engage with the stronger enemies within it, but I don't know. Oh, right, there's the fog gate. That's where I saw it. Did I think the Twin Maidens in the Round Table Hold, they still have one Stoneward key, right? I think? Maybe I should actually try and get that. But wait, though, have I... Oh, yeah, so I was here, right? I just didn't continue with this area. Also still confused where the key might be to get over to that treasure chest. Although maybe, since it is a treasure chest, right? Maybe the key is actually behind the fog gate? Considering how strong the knights are, I'm also still really confused why this thing doesn't respawn. Because it feels like if you're like really prepared to face the knights. If the knights are like a quote-unquote normal enemy for you, then this thing shouldn't be that tough overall. It's kind of weird because, well, the main thing why I'm a little bit disappointed there is because I essentially cheesed. Wait, what? Why is there another item here? Okay. Okay, that's where the knight is. That doesn't really continue there. I mean, I can just jump down, would also be a solution, but I'm confused about that area as well. That looks like you'd be able to get there as well. Although, maybe, yeah, maybe you have to go through the fog gate. Wait, let me just maybe sneak past this knight as well. What? Oh shit. Press the wrong fucking button. Well, the problem is I am planning to go to the other area where there's 2 knights. And I'm... Well, how the fuck am I supposed to deal with that? I mean, I can try and, like, backstep one of them. Oops. I don't think he saw me. Why is there another item below the giant, though? That's intriguing. Huh? Why did they notice me? That was weird. Whoa! Where the fuck did you come from? Huh? What was your deal? What? I don't remember there being somebody else somewhere. Oh well. Ugh, that sound when you're walking over the dead bodies, holy shit. Okay, this is where the dogs are. Come here. Wait. Oh, fuck. I forgot that he's the one who always takes up so much of your stamina. I hate their fucking, like, they're weird. They have like a really, really fast attack sometimes. I should have guard counted him. Okay, what is this? Why? What? Didn't we go... What? Please don't tell me she decided to come back here. What the fuck is wrong with her? She was in the round table hold, talking about how, like, she wanted to be taught by the smith. Maybe we shouldn't have told the smith about her or something? But it seemed like the smith wanted to teach her, it's just he was kind of shy about it. What the fuck? I swear she's dead. I guess I messed up her questline then. Shit. What is this about? Like, why? Also, I still have this and completely forgot about it. What the fuck? Crimson Hood. A hooded cloak of vivid crimson, worn by Expatriated royalty increases vigor. Such cloaks were gifted to those who departed on journeys without specific orders, to faraway lands from which they would never return. In other words, the gift of a cloak made it easier for undesirables to be on their way. Roderica never once saw the guidance of grace. Okay, I'm really sad about this, actually. Mainly, I mean, it's not even necessarily about Roderica or, her specifically. It's just she was the first NPC who actually seemed to have some sort of quest line. And if this already just ended because I don't know, messed up something with the dialogue, then, well, it would honestly be pretty disappointing. Won by expatriated royalty. That's weird. So, I guess I kind of misinterpreted what she talked about the entire time. So, she sort of made it seem as if her men were like their purpose or their desire was to be sacrificed for Godric, essentially, right? And be grafted. Reading this, I think she kind of might have put it the wrong way. If she was expatriated royalty and undesirable, then maybe they were sent from wherever they came on a mission to be grafted. So it wasn't necessarily their desire or their will to do that, but whoever sent them said, we don't want you in our country, we don't want you here, we don't want you, well, in our eyes, you are, well, you are weak, and that was what Roderica said about herself as well. That she thought that she was, not capable of leading, not capable of anything really, and therefore she wanted to be grafted as well. She just couldn't find the courage to do it, right? But yeah, I kind of misinterpreted that in a way that I was asking myself, well, why would anybody want to be grafted? But yeah, if they felt like they were undesirables wherever they came from, and if wherever they came from, those people made, they probably said to them, the only way you're going to be useful to us is if you get grafted by Godric. And so they did that, right? Maybe thinking that will be the only time they'll actually be useful, which is obviously pretty sad. And, from our normal real world understanding, probably morally wrong that somebody would tell them that, right? This just seems so quick though. I mean, we just talked to her yesterday in the roundtable hold. And she didn't mention, like, she seemed fairly glad that she was there, right? She seemed interested in what was going on there as well. And unless the smith maybe, because the smith said that she was actually able to, or that she had a talent for spirit tuning, whatever that actually means. Maybe she actually gained the confidence and then said to herself, well, now I'm confident, now I have the courage, let's go back and do what I actually wanted to do. Which is obviously stupid, but I can see that being a line of thinking. Also interesting, I mean, that's probably a part of why she was quote unquote undesirable, is if she never saw the guidance of grace, which is interesting because I think Rogia was the one who told us that. Was he the one? I think he was. But we definitely heard somewhere that usually, I think, Tarnished see the guidance of grace, but over time they don't anymore, right? And if she never saw it, you know, that obviously is related to her being, you know, not wanted by her people. When did I ever get 3 of these? What the hell? Deep red hood that covers the whole head. I think I read this at some point, right? Worn by soldiers sent to the penal colonies, yeah. That's the same description that the gauntlets have, I think. Damaged armor, draped with a large deep red cloth. Yeah. I would like to know why it's red, but unfortunately it doesn't tell you. When did I get all these things? The hell? I didn't even notice. It was probably when I went through the whole courtyard multiple times, when I tried to defeat that giant guy in there. Well, this is definitely... Okay, wait, that's the elevator. That's the yard with the statue, right? Yes. And this is the other fog gate. Okay. I do want to unlock this one as well, so... I think the Twin Maidens in the Round Table Hold are still selling a key. I have 3 flasks left. I mean, I kind of want to check out the place where the 2 knights were. I want to go back there. Is there... Fuck. Okay. Let's deal with the rats first, maybe, and then... Or maybe not. Somebody following us? Nah. Apparently not. What? What? Why is one of them still alive? Okay. Well, they can drop runes. Interesting. Oh yeah, somebody did follow me. Dude. The reason why enemies like these rats are really annoying is, I mean, think about the way that I have to take to get back here, right? If I die to the knights, this is like a really, really annoying path to have to backtrack. Okay, this is just the castle gate. Once again, same thing. I have to do this run here through the rats to get back here to then be able to deal with... I mean, I can summon the spirits. That's also kind of a problem, right? Because whenever I summon spirits here, I really need to make sure with the giant as well, right? Or what I did with the giant in the other courtyard is that Well, I managed to deal with that when I also managed to essentially get my spirits through the rest of the courtyard unscathed, which in this case, I don't know how easy that is to do exactly. Because there's just so many enemies here. Can you even see that line thing from up here? It's really hard to tell through the trees. So many paths that you can take. I do wish there were a couple more sort of shortcuts. I mean, it's not necessarily too difficult to go back here, but with the knights being as tough as they are, I wonder if you can lure the knights back to where you can summon the spirits. That would be kind of funny. Although I already used quite a lot of FP. Although the back one looks different, right? This is just... You can definitely backstep the first one. I can always backtrack should both of them approach me. Oh yeah, this is, by the way, where I thought it would be, right? Because you can see there in the back, the bridge. The wooden bridge. I think that's... Doesn't that sort of look... Well, does it? It's really hard to tell. Oh, so... Let me switch up my equipment and equip these guys. Just in case I am actually capable of luring them back to where I can summon. And then, is there something else that I could use that might give me an edge here? Fire damage, boosts physical attack. Yeah, well... Problem, I mean, yes, my damage is a problem, but I don't know. I mean, with these ones, the problem is if you disengage too much, then... Oh yeah, I found this one. Imagine if you're using this one, mimic a nearby object, and then use the skull that says, hello. I also have these. I have quite a lot of things to deal with these guys. The problem is they're dealing insane amounts of damage. And, you know, I can increase my own attack. It's just... the problem is I need to find an opening to even attack them. I mean, let's equip these maybe. I still have these as well, but the holy pots, I don't think they did too much damage to them overall. I wonder why the guy opposite him is wearing a red hood, though. I don't think we've seen that yet. I wonder what that means. Okay, well, he saw me. Seriously? Well... This is certainly not how I planned this to go. Also, why didn't I backstab one of them? Okay. Is he turning back? Once again, I think I'm sort of brute forcing my way through here, right? Which I don't really like, to be completely honest. What the seriously? Alright. What? Oh, for fuck's sake. You gotta be kidding me. Why is he still only targeting me while there's 5 guys hitting him? Shit, I should have probably just waited for them. Okay, you can lure him back though, so at least I know that. Oh, for fuck's sake. That's the problem. It's so insanely hard to recover from them hitting you. That is my biggest issue with them, because if they hit you once, like if you mess up the first dodge, for example, like, you need to do at least 3 perfectly timed dodges to even, like, just get through his attacks unscathed, right? That's not even, like, hitting him, dealing damage, or anything like that. Fucking hell. I mean, yeah, I do like that they're tough, don't get me wrong. It's just... Oh. What does it even matter that I have flasks if... You know, he's just... The problem is it's really, really almost impossible to deal with him. And I hate that you have to do this whole run back to them once you die. And yeah, no idea why I wasn't able to backstep them. Okay. I am going to switch up the summon this time around, though. I mean, okay. At least I got through here. Let's see, are you guys going to follow me? Seems like it's only 2. Let's just, you know. Or are they following me still? No. And one good thing as well, since I went all the way back here, I'm actually able to recover my runes. Okay, let's see. I think these 2, since I have the FP now, are probably better to deal with them. And then I need to, you know, make sure that I find the proper opening to actually attack him instead of... I hate that I have to brute force my way through these guys, but, you know, fighting both of them at once is completely out of the question. They will just destroy me. Well... Should I? No, I don't think that the silent approach is actually... I'm just really confused why I wasn't able to... And now I am. Okay. That attack is so crazy to me, right? This insane jump that they're doing. Huh? The other wanted to go back up. And then he, I guess, decided differently. Okay. Shit, is he retreating? Sounds like it, doesn't it? I wanted to... Can you just... The fuck? Don't tell me this is the one that doesn't come down here. Are you kidding me? Can you please just jump down here? God, I hate the... This would be so much cooler if you'd actually be able to summon the spirits where they are, right? I know I'm doing bullshit here, right? I know I'm brute forcing my way through, but it's still... Oh, for fuck's sake, really? Can he just, like, accidentally fall down or something? He's just not coming down here, is he? What a weird thing. The hell are you on about now? I mean, I would throw the fire at him, but I don't think that'll actually do much. The problem is he's constantly holding up his frickin' shield. Maybe I should let him go back and then try and deal with both of them. Or not both of them, but, you know, try and pull the other one. Seriously? How the fuck did you notice I was coming after you? Oh, can you please... Can you decide on whether or not you actually want to attack me or not? Oh, whoops. Finally. Okay. Well, what do I do now? The problem is, I didn't think about this actually. The problem is if I go back up, these guys will disappear, so I have to kill the other one. Like on my own. Shit. Whoopsie. I guess I have to. The problem is, I think the other one's actually going to follow me here, so... Although then again... Let's see. I might be able to... Yeah, this is just weird. I don't know why... Yeah, I think they'll disappear here in a second, don't they? I also don't know how this works. Like sometimes, yeah, now they disappeared, okay. Well, at least he's on his own now. I could try and throw fire at him. I just don't think that's doing much. He's just too fast is the problem, right? Usually, at least. That is... Why the fuck did I do that? That is so... I should have just disengaged and thrown a knife or something. Shit, and now my runes are even lying here. I mean, I have to, like, stealth approach them anyway. Man, this is just... Why? Why is this so weird? Maybe I should truly just go back into the open world. But, you know, if you approach a situation like this, you just want to see it through. Right? I mean... Okay. This time around, I'll actually do a different thing, which is I'll go back to the 5 guys, because I think I might be able to summon them twice. Or at least I might be able to get another summon in or something, because of my FP. Although, you know what? I'm an idiot. Let me do something completely different here. Yeah, that's so insane, right? And the fact that you can't even really get a combo off is so insane to me. I know I tried to... once again, brute force my way through, and I had hoped I would just be able to kill him, but it took like 4 additional hits, I think, and yeah, that was just not possible in this particular case. Alright, let me... yeah, I think I'll still stick with these guys, but I want to do something, which is finally use the golden seed that I have. And let me see, add charge to flask, yes. Allocate flask charges, and bring in one FP flask. Yeah, I don't need to equip it. I can just, you know, when I want to use it, I can just go into my inventory. That's my biggest problem with the knights, is that they have so many follow-ups that follow really, really quickly, right? So I managed to perfectly dodge a couple of their attacks a couple of times. It's just that doesn't really help you. Because if you dodge them, then, well, they'll just attack again, right? There is no opening there, and I can't really stun them either, so, you know, there's no way for me to actually, like, deal with that. They'll just attack over and over and over again. And even if I would be able to perfectly dodge every single time, you know, ultimately, the only thing I'd end up with is, well, the same situation I was in before, right? It's sort of an endless loop of dodging, because there's never going to be a point where I can actually attack. I mean, there might be, but only over like one hit or something, because I'm just not able to stun them into anything. And I don't think, well, magic isn't particularly effective. Oh, let me just heal. What else? Yeah, magic isn't really particularly effective. Holy damage isn't either. Fire damage, I mean, yeah, sure, it damages them, but not to an important degree. And then the bolts do very little damage as well. And ranged combat isn't really possible either, because, well, they'll just charge at me, and they have this insane charge as well, right? Oh, hopefully I can actually pick up my... Please let me pick up my... Okay. Is the right one following me this time? Nah, it's the other one, right? What's your deal? Can you, like, decide on whether or not you want to attack me or not? And the fact that he's constantly holding up his shield, you can't even... What the fuck is... Oh, shoot. I almost jumped down here. That would have been bad. He also sometimes sounds like he still wants to attack me, which is really weird. What the fuck? What the hell is going on with these knights? As if they weren't tough enough, he just pulls out a flamethrower, and or not a flamethrower. I think he spewed that fire. The fuck is going on with these guys? Holy shit, how are you supposed to deal with that? Oh, for fuck's sake, now I need to do the same thing again! Okay, that was something I just did not expect. Also, I still think it's bullshit though, because Well, it's fine that the fire deals damage, right? Obviously, my shield only has like a 40% fire damage negation or something, or maybe even only 30. So obviously, it deals damage. The problem isn't the damage. The problem is that it stun locks you. So it's essentially a one-shot in that particular scenario. Well, at least now I know he can do that. Fucking hell. And also, well, I don't know how much FP my FP flask actually recharges. Let's still go with these guys first. Because I think it's more likely that I'll get that guy again. And if that's the case, then I think the two soldiers are just more capable of dealing with him. What a fucked up situation this is. Well, at least I can get my runes back. Not that it matters all that much, but this is just crazy. You know, again, like these knights are really, really tough on their own, and then they just pull out these insane attacks, right? It's honestly crazy to me. Why did I even target that one rat? What the heck am I... Oh no. What am I doing? I'm really mad at myself. Shit. Why did I target the rat? What was going through my mind there? I'm always dealing with the rats without targeting them, so that I can hit all of them at the same time. Oh, for fuck's sake. I mean, I don't really care about the runes that I lost, obviously, but it just feels bad to actually lose them. My god, what is this game doing to me? Huh. This time the guy with the, Oh, for fuck. It's also, I don't know why they just, sometimes the rats are pulling out their stun lock attack, right? Where they have this, I don't know, really quick attack that doesn't deal that much damage but stuns you. And most of the time, they're just doing their normal attack where they have this sort of charge-up animation. And it's just kind of weird to me. I don't understand why they're sometimes doing the one thing and sometimes doing the other. And it's still kind of hard to tell for me, but with the way this whole level is structured, I honestly don't think that the whole rune losing and picking up mechanic should still be a thing. That just doesn't really feel right, because it's too, like, the places where you actually die are too random to really make that consistent. You don't even know, like, typically, for example, you know, if you weren't so determined to get through these nights, since it is a quote-unquote open world situation here, and the castle does allow for so many different approaches, it kind of feels backwards to force the player to go back to the place where they died. That doesn't actually feel great. Sure, in this particular case, when you actually want to sort of brute force your way through a tricky situation, then that's fine. But usually, you know, I would say, all right, you know, this is an open world game, or rather, you know, I have so many paths still left for me to look at. You know, let's just let this knights be knights and go somewhere else. But the fact that the runes are dropped where you die, I don't know. I feel like that shouldn't be a thing, to be completely honest. That feels like a relic from the other FromSoft games. And it made sense in Dark Souls. It did. It doesn't make sense here. It's a mechanic. I think they should have tried something different. And I'm not saying, like, the idea of the mechanic is great, right? That you sort of have this chance of, I guess, coming back and recovering what was lost, right? The basic idea of that works, but it is very, very. It's a thing that, in my opinion, works very against the idea of an open world, where you might be dying somewhere, and I think you should have the freedom of saying. I mean, technically, you have the freedom. But it doesn't feel that great. So I think, actually a mechanic like in Sekiro, where there either is a chance that you keep your runes and sometimes you lose them, or if you just, lose, like, you in general just lose, I don't know, 30% of your runes when you die, right? And they're just lost, and there's no way to pick up anything. I think that would be better than what they've done here. Punish the player for dying, but not make it awkward like this in a world where you're supposed to take several different routes and approaches, and you don't want to be locked into that one path that you're trying to get through. So, yeah, I don't think you should drop your runes. I think, maybe they could have introduced something like in Bloodborne, where the enemy that killed you drops more runes if you kill him, right? Not your runes, he just drops more. So if you kill the enemy that killed you, you have, like, there's a reward there, right? But your runes aren't, like, a thing that you need to get. That just feels backwards towards the open world design. Yeah. It's a bit unfortunate. All right, let's try this again. It is kind of weird how far they actually follow you, right? The fact that you can lure them down here. Ah, seriously. Of course, I knew it. One flask wasted. It's really hard to get him to actually jump down here for whatever reason. What's going on now? What? That took him a really long time to decide to actually attack me again. The fuck is going on with you? Just come down here. Stop wasting my time. Oh. Come... Oh, for fuck's sake! Why is the AI like that? Either make them follow me the entire time, or just don't do it, but don't do this. He's half dead already. The fuck. Oh, seriously. What was that? The fuck is going on with you? I think he kind of is he just not capable of climbing this particular ladder, or what's going on? I'm honestly just killing him with bolts at this point. What a fucking weird enemy. But yeah, it's actually better to do this, huh? Of course, now he drops down. What the fuck? That was kind of an overkill to summon the two guys, but I also don't want to die again. Thank you. Let's see what he dropped. Banished Knight armor. I already have that, right? Yeah. Oh well. Okay, now I can actually see what the FP flask recharges. Let me see. Use. Wow! Okay, that's a lot. Yeah, how do I... Oh, right, I need to level Mind. I should probably do that. I need more FP. It's kind of unfortunate that there isn't a way for me to... Defeating one by one required a hit. Yeah. Like, I'm kind of trying to do that. So, am I actually capable of summoning them again? I think I am. Well, that's at least somewhat good. Also, why didn't he care that I killed his buddy? Seems strange. Oh, that doesn't work over the... I guess that's because the ladder's there? He doesn't have a shield, though. Technically, I could cheese him with the bolt. Oh, shit. You can't summon twice. Did not realize that. Are you kidding me? Is he still following me? The fuck is wrong with you? I mean, I guess... Oh, fuck. I used the second one. Hoo boy! Okay, so, what's the point? I mean, oh, I get it, right? You have, like, you have, what is it? Miracles and all that kind of crap, right? So, yeah, if recharging your FP does matter, but at least right now, the thing that's mostly draining my FP are the summons. And, well, if you can't summon twice, it's a bit strange, honestly. Wow. Well, that was something, wasn't it? Holy shit. I mean, this is honestly... Up until endgame, I feel like this is honestly almost impossible to do. I mean, think about it. If you come from this area, right? Even if you can backstep one of them, I mean, I guess... Well, yeah, at some point you can maybe one-shot him with a backstep, but that's probably, yeah, as I said, I would need to be, I don't know, 20 levels higher at least, probably. And then the other guy has a fucking flamethrower, or is breathing fire, whatever, right? So, like, if you fight one of them, the other's just gonna do, like, some crazy shit that you just can't avoid. Or, I don't know. It seems like such a... What is this encounter, honestly? I mean, unless you're insanely over-leveled for this area, it's just going to be incredibly difficult to deal with it. Okay, do you think he's going to shoot me with that thing when I'm crossing the bridge? Hopefully not. I mean, I don't even know... Well, I need to kill them anyways, but... What the fuck is going on there? Fuck! Does it have to be someone with an axe? Okay. How are you supposed to enter that area, though? Doesn't this end here, essentially? Isn't there an item still there? Or, wait, did I, like, not see that the last time? I thought there was an item, like, on the cliff where the guy with the torches, or long torch, what's that actually called? But I think there was an item there. Or maybe not. Maybe it was just something that they dropped. Because it doesn't look like you're actually able to go up there, does it? Unless, can you maybe... No. That just looks close from the cliff here to the wooden roof. But you can't make that jump, I don't think. Although, I'm an idiot. You can just jump... Yeah. You can just jump onto this wall, right? Like, can you? I don't want to test it. Like, maybe you can try and jump from here. There should be some kind of jump that lets you get over there. But let's check out the area here first. You can jump back down there. Ladder. Oh, I can summon again. Why can you summon here? Oh, what? That's just, I think I was just in range of the courtyard, essentially. Yeah, this whole summoning thing, honestly, it's very, very cool, right? It's just, it feels like they didn't properly think it through in a lot of cases. I don't know, it's just... It feels unnecessarily limited in a lot of ways. And I don't think that... I mean, sure, like, they're mainly giving you the summons for very particular areas, right? Which, you know, that in and of itself, like, the basic idea of that is fine, right? They have really tough areas, essentially, with a lot of opponents or whatever. Oh, fuck, there's another knight? Seriously? But yeah, that's sort of the basic idea, right? They have an area with a lot of tough opponents, and then they let you summon spirits. Okay, fair enough. The problem is you can abuse that system if you pull enemies into the range of where you can summon. That's problematic, right? Because, I don't know, that feels like cheesing. In a way it is, but the game allows you to do it as well. Which is why, I mean, the spirits are so cool as well. I feel like it would honestly be better to just... I don't know. Again, I think I said that yesterday. They're limited anyways, right? You can't just summon them unlimited because they cost FP. Sure, you can, you know, essentially put, like, you can use a lot of FP flasks. You know, that way you could summon them, like, a lot of times, but I don't think necessarily that would be a problem. Also, they could have just balanced around that, right? You can just adjust their strength and their HP and, well, the FP cost as well. And also, I think they could have just done it in a way where you get multiples of them, right? I have 5 different spirit summons, and I think it would be pretty cool if essentially, after you've rested at a site of grace, you can summon all of them once, right? But then they are essentially on cooldown, and you need to rest again to make them available again. Which would mean that, you know, there was a hard cap on how much you can summon. And I think that would honestly be pretty fair, looking at this area. And again, you can design around that, right? The problem that I have here is that they have this really cool feature, and they limit it in a very weird and awkward way. And I don't think that should be the case. If they need to remove these summons either entirely or just I mean, technically they could also limit it in a way where you have... That would honestly be the better choice, I think. Um, I mean, whether or not they should still cost FP, I don't really know, but I think the bell itself should just have charges. So every time you rest, you get, I don't know, one spirit summon. And then throughout the course of the game, maybe you find like a bell upgrade, and then you can summon two. And then you find another upgrade, and then you can summon three, right? I think that would have been the better choice. And just let you summon them anywhere, but, well, once they're dead, right? Until you rest again, right? And respawn enemies. I think that would have been the better choice. And again, in terms of balancing in general, it's just kind of weird because you can summon them. So, you know, if you get through a particular tough area with the spirit summons, then, well, the game wants you to do that, right? But at the same time, I don't know, their whole mechanic does seem somewhat, yeah, I don't know, awkwardly designed. Why can I jump over there? Interesting choice. Let's see what this item is. Nomadic Warriors Cookbook 10. 10? The fuck? Wait, is this telling me that I technically should have already found 9 other cookbooks once I'm able to get here? Am I really that far ahead of where I should be? It honestly feels like it, considering how tough these nights are. Okay. Let's see. Wait. Where are they again? Key items, right? Yeah, here. Yeah, so I bought 1 and 2 from the vendor, and I haven't seen any other ones. Although, interestingly enough, I have the Armorer's Cookbook 2, but not 1. Stormwing Bone Arrow. A record of crafting techniques left by roaming nomad warriors. Contains knowledge for surviving in the face of utter scarcity. Stormwing Bone Arrow. I don't think I can craft that. These things? Okay. Stormhawk Feather. I really need to find a way to get a lot of thin beast bones. Arrow whittled from animal bones fletched with stormhawk feathers. Flies enshrouded in storm winds, breaking enemy stances and guards with ease. Wow. That sounds honestly pretty good. I think at some point I actually might want to be able to equip the crossbow and the bow at once. How am I supposed to deal with that knight? I mean, well, maybe I could also pull him back somewhere. Why did this say treasure chest ahead? Doesn't look like there's actually anything here. This just gets me back down to the other area. Am I missing something here? The hell? Why does this area exist exactly? That's weird. Huh. Well, I mean, technically I have a lot of area to retreat to. So, let's cheese him, I guess. This is definitely an oversight. I wonder how exactly the spirit summoning circles are designed. Like, do they have just... do they literally just have a circle around them? I don't think so. I think they're probably manually placed in terms of where you can summon or not, so that might just be an oversight. in the sense of, you know, it's bugged essentially. Seriously. I thought it was just the knight. Why is the other guy there as well? The fuck? I mean, I don't think there's an item there, is there? Let's just check out if there even is anything of worth here. Where does this lead exactly? I'm not missing anything by skipping those two, right? I don't think I am. These are just boxes. I don't think there's anything behind the boxes. There's nowhere to drop down to. Yeah, let's just let them be for now. Okay, this is that courtyard. I've already been here. Is there a way to get up there? I think I... That might be behind the locked door, though. Cramped area. What? Why? Huh? I thought I'd be maybe able to get to the treasure from here. Although no, that's on the other side, actually. What? Huh? Why does this area exist? Holy shit. Think about it. If I had actually just pulled the knight and then died and then attempted this multiple times and the only thing that I found here was nothing. The fuck? I mean, I was already in that area. There's no, like... What's the... In order to even get here, you practically already had to be down there. Or at least you had to have access to the area anyway. So why exactly can you even come here? I'm just confused about this, to be honest. What's the deal here? There is literally nothing, absolutely nothing here. Unless I'm missing something. But I don't think I am. I mean, there's no item here. There are just boxes there. I don't think there's an item below the boxes. At least so far they haven't done that. And I don't think... I mean, I've been down here, right? Sort of beyond this wall. Yeah, that's just where the two knights are. So there's also nowhere to drop down to or anything that I haven't been yet. Yeah, it's just the area where I came from. What's the deal here? It's really, really tough to even go here. Why then not reward the player for coming here? That's just strange. And it's not really giving you any kind of other approach. I mean, well, over there, right, you can jump onto the black roof, and I guess from there, take out the guy, I think that guy there, right? Isn't that the one that's using the trumpet and alerting everybody else? So, but then that still wouldn't explain why you can come over here. Unless the knight drops something important, but I don't think that would be the case either. What a weird thing. Huh. I mean, technically I probably would want to know whether or not the knight drops something, but yeah, no. I'm not going to try that. What does this say? Why does this say treasure chest ahead? Dead end, yeah. What's the other message? Treasure chest. Try rolling. Nice. Well, at least I've done this area now, right? So... I am still missing a couple of other areas as well, I think. Technically, overall, I've done a lot of stuff now. Not a lot of stuff necessarily, but... Is there a way for me to jump over here? Yeah, this just ends here as well, so... I don't think you're meant to jump over these things, are you? No, yeah. What a weird area. This whole thing literally just for a cookbook? Yeah, it's clearly not a hidden path. I mean, that's the courtyard. I was already there. The only question is if I can, like, jump over there. The problem is I need to kill the dudes at the... What are they called? Baristas? I don't know if you can make that jump. I think you should be able to. I just don't know if it really leads to anything. That's the bigger issue. Okay, let's see. Kinda don't really want to waste bolts, but whatever. Holy shit. Ah, seriously. Although there is another wall there. I don't think you'd even be able to get to him, right? What the fuck was that? That was an awkward jump. The only problem is, if I jump over there now, I feel like there's gonna be a million different enemies trying to kill me. Yeah, nope. That's not gonna happen. I honestly thought I should have made that. Shit, I didn't... Wait, when did I lose so much health? Did the other fire pod also hit me? Yeah, once again, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to pick up my runes. I'm not going to, I think. Well, okay, so that means... I've more or less done that area, I guess. What a weird thing. All that effort. I mean, yeah, the cookbook, but... Yeah, I do... I mean, maybe I timed my jump wrong or something, but... First of all, that would be a bitch to get back to. Second of all, I don't think you're meant to get over there, which is kind of weird because it looks like normal play area, right? I don't know why they don't... I mean, there might not be anything there in terms of items, but we've already seen they don't really care about that, whether or not they actually reward you with items. So I just find it weird that, well, that it works this way, right? That... I think you should be able to jump over there. Okay. Next thing on the agenda. probably the, the freaking lion in the first courtyard. Although I'm really not sure if I should actually attempt that. I do want to check out something else first. Let's go back to the round table hold. I have a yeah. I think she's literally dead. What the fuck? I mean, you know, the fact that that can happen, okay, cool. But this quickly and without any kind of really, like, forewarning, I feel like is a bit... Wait, no, what? Whew. Okay. Thank God. So they faked us out. What the fuck? So, huh? Is the implication here that she managed to get into the castle to the point where I was at, just threw her hood down there, and then left? Holy shit. I mean, respect for that, I guess. Hi. I thought you were dead.
Good to see you again. Thank you very much. I have you to thank, don't I? For persuading Master Hugh. I can happily announce that he has taught me the noble toil of spirit tuning. I'm as yet unsure of what I might be able to accomplish, but if I might be able to help you all, I'd certainly like to try. And if there's any chance to ease the suffering of my dear men who were grafted, well, I certainly must try. Roderica, the Spirit Tuner Apprentice. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Roderica, the Spirit Tuner Apprentice. Oh, I'm actually really relieved that she's not dead. Spirit tuning. With the spirit tuning menu, you can spend runes and grave glove words to strengthen the spirits you summon from ashes. To strengthen named spirits, you'll need ghost glove words. Oh, aren't those the flowers? I don't have any runes. So what does this imply? I feel like the spirits are already pretty strong. And this just makes them stronger? And it doesn't increase their FP costs, seemingly. Doesn't really tell you what it does in terms of strength, although it's very hard to gauge how strong they actually are. The Grave Glove word, that's a... Isn't that farmable, though? When did we find that? Grave Glove word. Isn't that just a flower? Wait, never mind. It's... Well, it does appear here. White flower that blooms in catacombs. I guess these are not farmable then? Maybe? Where did I find them? Because I thought... I think when I picked them up, I just thought that they would be like a normal flower. Just, you know, like everything else, just more rare. Possibly? Should I just use... Wait, let me see. I could actually... let me see. Let's use 3 of these.
Greetings, are you here for...
And oh, these are even more expensive. Oh, yeah, they also cost 1 of FP more. Let's strengthen these guys. Yes. Now they are +1, whatever that means. And you need Grave Glove Words 2 to strengthen them further. What do I have? What's the other flower that I have? It's not a Grave Glove Word 2. Where were they? Here. That's a Ghost Glove Word. That's for Renowned Ashes, so that has to be some sort of very strong special ash then? Okay. And you need a Grave Glove Word 2 to strengthen them further. Meaning I can just literally upgrade all the ashes that I have, right? If I wanted to. How much does that cost?
Are you here for spirit?
I don't think it's too expensive. What's that? 175, 600, 790, 850, 1150, I think. Can definitely do that. These are 400, right?
Greetings, are you here for spirit?
Nice. Okay, I mean, that'll certainly help. I have made quite a lot of use of these ashes so far, so not all of them, so, you know, but I mean, I even have 1 of those grave flowers left, so yeah, not a big deal, I think.
Well, I took youth no matter it.
Does he have about Rodrika?
The girl. She has a gift for spirit tuning, so I told her everything I know. I'm indebted to a spirit tuner I met long ago.
Okay.
It was all I could do to honor her. I'm sorry I doubted you.
Indebted to a spirit owner, spirit tuner he knew long ago. Did he? This is going to be hard to find, because at some point I need to try and, I guess, what's the word? Summarize my notes, or at least put them together in a more usable format, because now they're just literally written in the order that I find things, but obviously that makes it really, really hard to connect different things, right? When did I venture to the round table hall first? Here. The problem is I actually didn't write that many things down about the smith. Probably because he actually talked quite a lot. So it's sometimes hard to follow when they're talking, because you can't get their dialogue back once you've heard it once. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I know that much about the smith otherwise. Smithing Master Hugh, prisoned in the Hold Y. Yeah, he only talked about what I assumed was Marika. He didn't really talk about anything else, I think. At least not specifically. So, I don't think we actually know who that Spirituna might be that he knew, or why he knew them. Okay. Well, I mean, that is some sort of progress, I guess. I mean, that will technically help us with the courtyard, right? So, guess we'll go back. I need to... Yeah, I need to approach the courtyard from the other side, though. Because I need to kill the barista and things. And also, technically... Wait. Before I teleport, I need to know if the two maidens... If they are still selling one stonewood key. Because then I can go back to the other fog wall that I haven't unlocked yet. Yes, they still have one. Do I have... Could I technically buy it? I'm actually not sure. That might be close. Wait, I don't... Let me go back to the smith and see what those actually sell for before I use them. And whether or not I can get to 4,000. I mean, I could just farm runes. That is definitely a possibility. But since it's an open world game, you know, farming runes, I would much prefer to just go out into the open world and, I don't know, find a dungeon or something. But I also don't really want to... Oh yeah, I have more than enough, actually. Let's see, these three would be 3,000... Yeah, okay. So let's sell these, and then one of these. And then I can take the key with me. Which means I can open up the other fog gate as well. Nice. Okay. Sadly, I can't really craft anything too useful other than these. Oh shit, I actually have a lot of smoldering butterflies. I definitely want more, like, fire bolts and that kind of stuff. So I don't really want to use all the smoldering butterflies currently. And I still have 2 of these hold, right? Yeah, so... Don't really want them right now. Okay. Do I want to open the fog gate before I attempt the courtyard? I think I do. Oh shit, how do I get back to it? I think I have to go through the, like, first part again, right? Where the eagles are? Wait, is that true? Or is there another way for me to get there? Either way, I think I have to sneak past a couple of knights to do it. Right? Or is there... Oh no, never mind. No, I don't need to. I can just go here and take the elevator down and then just go into the courtyard with the statue where the woman is pouring water out of an urn, vase. What's that called? Vase, probably? Bowl? Not bowl, vase. Is the elevator here? Yeah. And then we'll see if that... I mean, probably, I'd imagine it just only sort of has treasure in it. But it will probably also lead to somewhere else. I think it was this direction. Yes. I hope there isn't yet another one. Wait, oh. I was wondering why I couldn't sneak, but it was still... I could still have the... Oh, hi! You're a big guy. You're 2 big guys. Oh, shit. Why does it... Oh, shoot. I thought I staggered the other one. See, why does he have glowing eyes? What's the implication there? I should have just killed him. Ah, yeah. Okay, it actually does mean what I speculated before. That's cool. Okay, so golden eyes. Golden eyes equal more runes. Why though? Because interestingly enough, when he died, right? Or rather, when any enemy dies, there is this golden thing that looks like the golden grace that gets transported to us, right? And those are runes. So, I mean, that was already fairly clear, is that the runes, in a way, is what the grace is made out of, right? So somehow runes are sort of, I guess, I mean, in that sense, very similar to souls. Apparently they're like ambitions and memories, right? And they essentially make up what is called grace, which is, I guess, the accumulation of that, right? And whatever the Earth Tree also is extracting or wants. I mean, it's not really clear how the Earth Tree interacts with the grace, right? But it's clearly connected. Now I wonder why. I mean, seemingly, a couple of enemies can randomly have golden eyes, which means they drop more runes. That in and of itself is just gameplay mechanic. It's cool, you know. That's actually quite neat, right? But I do wonder what that means, right? What's the lore implication here? Does it mean that these enemies can, like, almost still see the golden grace as well? Like, are they, I don't know, tarnished, or have they lost their mind, but only barely? So are they technically still more intelligent than their brethren, I guess? I mean, it doesn't really tell us anything about it, right? It could be the other way around, where maybe the golden grace is trying to bring them back from having lost their minds, although I think that's fairly unlikely. Or is it maybe something that we can see, right? Is it just that we, as the player character, in a tarnish that is capable of seeing the golden grace, or its guidance rather, does it mean that we can see something in these enemies? We can see, for whatever reason, more of their memories or ambitions. I mean, I have a feeling that it's literally only a gameplay element, but I would like to believe that there is a bigger sort of reason for it. I think there's still an enemy outside that door. Hawk Crest Wooden Shield. Oh, that looks awesome. Why do they never have 100% physical damage negation? That's really annoying. A tall, medium-sized wooden shield, light for its size and easy to handle, adorned with a long-forgotten crest of Stormveil, ancient in design. Skill parry. Okay, long-forgotten crest of Stormveil. That is interesting. So Stormveil at some point originally had an eagle, or at least some kind of bird. It's not necessarily an eagle. Long forgotten crest of Stormveil. I mean, obviously, we have absolutely no idea what long forgotten means in this context, right? Is it really long? Is it before the Elden Ring shattered? So, Because looking at the state of the castle, right? Somehow I have a feeling that these beings that are still here, that have lost their mind essentially, I don't think they would be actually capable of producing another crest, or I don't think they would suddenly decide to redecorate their castle, right? So I do think that this golden line and everything already existed before the world got to the stage that it is in now. So if they're saying that this is a long forgotten crest of Stormveil, that's even before, right? So at some point the Elden Ring shattered or something, but at that point the golden line was already the crest. But then even further, like before that, this has to have been the crest. Although it's kind of weird because at least for the story so far in this game, any kind of time before that doesn't really play a role at all. Although trying to figure out a timeline here is completely impossible at this point anyways. Still like a golden bird. Not necessarily on brown. Golden bird. Eagle, question mark. I mean, the whole thing with the eagles is they were probably... I feel like this castle was probably always associated with eagles. But at some point they probably sort of quote-unquote turned evil or something. Misericord. What is that? Yeah, at some point they probably turned like evil, or at least did things that they originally wouldn't have done. And one of those things might have been that they or essentially torturing their eagles with these blades attached to their feet and stuff. I think at some point, right, if you have a crest of an eagle or a bird, I think you would respect those animals more than to do that to them. So I think that at that point the eagles were probably, very well respected and just a part of this whole culture here, where the people of this castle. And then at some point they turned, I don't know, into a different direction, and for some reason decided to take the lion as their crest. And at that point they probably said, oh, well, fuck the eagles, right? We're just gonna use them for attack strength, essentially, and they mishandled them, right? There's certainly an implication, right? So what are these sounds again? Sounds like rats. Okay, what is this weapon? Oh, that's a dagger. Okay. Thought it was a sword. Dagger favored by military physicians in white. The pointed blade is hard and sharp, making critical hits especially potent. Medicine is mercy, and mercy upon the battlefield is ruthless. Beware the killers clothed as men of compassion. Wow, what a description. Military physicians. Clothed in white. Okay. Pointed blade is hard and sharp, making crits especially. Medicine is mercy. Some of these quotes are just kind of hard to summarize, right? Especially because if you summarize them, or if you try to shorten them to write them down, it often feels like you're sort of warping their meaning, right? And already interpreting what they might mean, even though that's not necessarily something you are yet capable of saying. So that's a bit tough when you try to make notes of these things, because sometimes you just have to literally copy what they say. Medicine is mercy, and mercy upon the battlefield is ruthless. I mean, that's just, I don't know, military... shit, what's the word? Like advice, I guess, right? Beware the killers clothed as men of compassion. Although it does suggest that, the whatever order or academy or whatever, beware the killers clothed as men of compassion. Yeah, whatever academy sort of might be responsible for teaching them about this medicine. They might also be some sort of, I guess, assassin order or something. When did I get this one? What, that straight sword? Rather short, but wide blade, simple to wield. It was known as the sword of the people. Though the Erdtree styling is still visible, time has not been kind to the sword. Now merely a shadow of its former self. It does look very cool, though. So many different swords. Iron wet blade. That is a key item. What kind of item is that? Grants choice of affinity upgrade to weapon. Iron wet blade with the cipher engraved can be used as a whetstone knife. When applying an affinity using Ashes of War, an additional affinity of heavy, keen, or quality can be chosen. Meaning that you can completely alter the scaling of your weapon? You need to try that, obviously. Does this still lead somewhere, or is that only... I mean, we can certainly not jump down there. So I think this was literally just this one room with items. I mean, I'm fine with that. I think, you know, as I said before, this is much better, right? If you have the sort of optional item that you can use, just use it like this. Have an optional room, you know, a couple enemies and a couple of items. That's fine. The reason why I didn't particularly like... Oh, there's one of those Scarabai down there. The reason why I didn't particularly like the other fog gate here in the castle is because they literally gave you a completely different route to approach certain encounters, right? I mean, I wouldn't even have been... Well, yeah, for example, the path that I took to those knights, right? That's literally impossible to get to. And I don't know, I mean, yeah, so the difference that the other fog gate makes is that you can approach the front gate from a different position. You aren't able to actually get to the barista guys without opening up that fog gate. And I don't think that should be the case. That feels backwards. And I don't think also that, I mean, well, obviously people are going to open up the fog gate because you're just naturally curious about what might lie behind it, right? That's, yeah, okay. If you want to fully explore this castle, then sure, it makes sense that you would open up that fog gate. That being said, though, I think making the connection that that particular fog gate will ultimately help you to clear the courtyard leading to the front gate, I think that connection is quite hard to make. And I think the only other way to deal with the guys on the baristas, if you haven't opened up the fog gate, is probably with ranged combat, like with bows or bolts, and killing them off from a distance one by one. Which not every character might be able to do, right? If you're playing a purely like melee build or something. And that might lead to some frustration as well. So I don't think that the other fog gate should have been designed in a way where it not only led to items, but also gives you a completely different access route to those particular sections of the castle. Also, I think this whole sort of well, it's not really backtracking, but the fact that you can loop around so much to those two knights that we fought earlier, and then over those wooden bridges, the fact that you can see those wooden bridges very early on, essentially, but have no idea how to get to them, and it's actually through that fog gate that then loops around the whole sort of castle almost, or the whole courtyard, essentially, back to those bridges, that's a bit of a weird choice, I feel like. I honestly would have liked for them to implement, like, purely make the fog gate about those items that we found there, like this one charm thing with obsidian in it and the book that teaches you about black flame magic. You know, put those behind the fog gate, but give me, like, put in a ladder somewhere that also leads up to where the two knights are. And, I mean, that might be a way of dealing with it, right? So if you open up the fog gate, you can essentially bypass the 2 knights to get to the front courtyard and deal with the ballistas. And if you don't open up the fog gate, you take, well, more or less the other way around, where you have to deal with the 2 knights, or at least run by them or whatever, to then get to the front gate, right? And deal with the ballistas. I think that might have been a way to deal with it, but the fact that you almost have to open that fog gate, I feel, is a bit backwards. Also, it's very inconsistent in terms of sort of gameplay language, because let's say you open up this fog gate first, right? And the only thing that you get is a couple of items, right? And you very much expect that. This is what I would usually expect out of the fog gates, right? Oh yeah, you get a couple of items and that's it. If you open up this one first, which this is kind of the first one you can actually access, so it was kind of just randomly lucky that I opened up the other one first, you would think that, okay, so the first one only led me to some optional items. So the second one surely is going to do the exact same thing. But that's not what it does. And I think that's problematic and inconsistent. Not a big problem, but certainly, you know, I do think that it can cause potential confusion with some players, just because it is inconsistent. Okay. Well, what else is there? What haven't we done yet? I still feel like there's so much left to do. I do desperately want to get back to the courtyard and try fighting that lion thing, whatever it is. Did I use... Well, I used 1 flask, didn't I? Let me... I guess we could warp back here. Take the fog gate route. Come out the front. I feel like I already forgot about something else that I still wanted to do. So technically, this is the site where you apparently can't jump to, right? We cleared all of this, where the 2 knights were as well. And that just loops around. So, oh right, yeah, we still haven't been able to open the locked door here, but I do feel like that's something for the future as well. So at the moment, I'm fairly certain that the only things that are left to us is this path, and the courtyard with a line. And since I've already been to the courtyard, I think that's what I'm going to try first. I really wish you could access it from here. The fact that those barista guys literally shoot you, even if you're just trying to get out the door from this side of grace, is weird. That's honestly really weird. But yeah. So we need to travel back to this one, take the elevator, you know, go through the other courtyard, go through the fog gate, same thing with the rats. I think this time I'm just going to run by the rats. Do I still have... Wait. 1,100. Is there a thing that... Oh, right. Can we... Ashes of War. So... If I... Oh, okay. So now we have magic scaling. Quality scaling is dex. Why does it... This is so weird, isn't it? Why does it reduce the base attack power so much? I feel like that doesn't really make sense. Because the scaling remains the same, but the base attack power is decreased? What's the deal with that? Keen. So quality would increase the strength scaling and keep the dex scaling like it is. The weird thing is that in order to do these scaling changes, you have to change the skill on your weapon. I don't like that. I wish you could do this without changing the skill. So Keen increases dex scaling, but lowers strength scaling. Heavy is strength scaling and completely removes the dex scaling, and then standard. But what is the deal here? Why is it decreasing the base attack power? That doesn't make sense. Unless I'm missing something with how the base attack power works? I wish there was an easier way to figure out what this actually does in terms of damage. Because, well, currently this weapon just works normally, right? And technically the menu is telling me it's doing 148 damage. Okay, sorry. I need to figure out what that means. It's just so hard to gauge. The problem is also, wait, maybe I should go, do we have a Site of Grace that has an enemy next to it that might be pretty good to try this? Maybe just the basic soldier here? He's just kind of far away, unfortunately. Maybe this one in the tunnel, because you can hit the guy that's standing in front of the cannon. I think that should be. Let's see. This guy, right? Wait. Huh? Why can I suddenly spirit summon here? What? I wasn't able to do that before. Huh? How does this work? Why? What a weird thing. Okay, so... Ah, fuck. That wasn't a normal hit. That was some sort of weird stab. Ah, shit. It was 100-something damage, right? 82... 82... Okay. So I think it's pretty clear that a normal hit does 82 damage. Okay. Oh, cool. Tree and Beast Surcoat. I don't think we've gotten that yet. Maybe it'll explain why they have two different crests on it. Armor worn by soldiers loyal to Godric the Grafted. The surcoat depicts the distant Erdtree and the Beast Regent, an emblem of the Golden Lineage. Both are symbols of glory, now past. Okay. That doesn't tell us too much. Distant Erdtree. Soldier armor. Distant Erdtree. Lion is called the Beast Regent. Interesting choice of words. Emblem of the Golden Lineage. Symbols of past glory. The Beast Regent. Is Godric the Grafted actually also some kind of lion beast? Oh wait, I completely forgot. I mean, we've seen pictures of him, right? Of Godric the Grafted. He has some sort of lion spirit, or had, at some point. That's literally that, like, marketing poster, right? That is the original Godric with some sort of lion spirit. So that apparently was the Beast Regent, emblem of the Golden Lineage. Okay. What does that mean? Why did he have that before? I mean, they're supposed to be demigods descended from Marika, right? So maybe they all have some sort of demigod power like that, where they can potentially summon beasts or something. Okay. But then now he's decrepit, right? And he's now Godric the Grafted. So does he still have that? Or is it like warped in some sort of horrific way? Is it still a spirit? I mean, in a way, so yeah, we can do spirit summonings, right? So I guess originally that line probably was very similar. A spirit summon that Godric was able to do. And maybe even was sort of passed down through his family, through generations, and was the beast regent, right? That's where they drew their power from, being able to summon this beast lion as a spirit. Yeah. That could be it. Question obviously being what happened to that thing now, right? Does it still exist? Does Godric still summon it? Couple of different questions there. Okay, so what was the damage? 82 on a normal hit, right? 82. So we already established that for some weird reason, if I quit this and turn on the magic scaling, it's still doing almost the exact same damage, even though the base damage according to this, menu should be far less. So let's see, what's the biggest difference here? I mean, the scaling obviously strengthens the whole thing, but the overall damage should still be less, right? So heavy, for example, just decreases the damage. But I want to see... If we go for keen, for example, that is 112, 100... Well, fuck, it's almost the same, right? 146 compared to 148. Because it's taking away 12, giving 10 back. Let's see if that has an influence on it. Because if the damage is vastly different now, that would be very, very strange indeed. God, that hiccup there when it's loading in the world is really, really unfortunate. Okay, that hit was exactly the same damage. 81, okay. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense in this case. That actually makes sense. Okay, so the attack value there directly translates into the actual attack damage that you're dealing. So I'm decreasing my attack by 2 if I choose this keen scaling. Obviously, keen scaling, if I were to put more points into dex, would actually be a damage gain overall, right? Compared to standard scaling. So in those cases, like with the normal damage, I'm definitely dealing exactly what this value tells me. Like, obviously, I'm not dealing 146 damage because they also have armor on and stuff like that, right? So whatever they have in terms of defensive abilities, essentially... So if I'm dealing 146, what is that? Actually, I want to, like, what's the actual value there? Let me see. Dip. Where is it? There. So it's, what was it? 81 divided by 146. 55. I'm dealing 55.6% of the damage that my attack value is, essentially. Meaning that meaning that the soldier has about like a 45% damage negation on him. That seems quite a lot, right? compared to the damage mitigation that I have, unless I don't really understand how those values interact specifically. Because then it could be, let me actually get out of this menu real quick. One thing that I was always kind of confused about in Dark Souls in general, and one thing that I never really tested out, is your actual damage negation. So if you look on the right, my physical damage negation is 17.1% according to this chart. But then there's also strike, slash, and pierce damage negation. Now, let's see what this says. Your defense power and damage negation against standard physical attacks. The former is calculated via attributes, while the latter is calculated via defensive gear and any additional effects. So my defensive power is 88. That directly translates from my level, right? The base stat is like 79 or something, and then because I've leveled up 20 times, I think that gives you like 10 additional physical damage negation. And at least looking at this, what that means is that I have 17.1% damage negation against standard physical attacks. I assume that's percentage, right? I mean, it would make sense. And this just says the same. The problem is that this doesn't tell you whether or not, like, how do they interact, right? Because, like, judging by if a normal sort of foot soldier has a 45% physical damage negation when my attacks hit him, wouldn't that mean that this is sort of additive? So let's say an enemy hits me with a strike attack. It would then give me the 17.1% negation against physical and adds on the 21.2% negation against strike damage. So my overall negation in this case, just, I have no idea whether or not this is how it works, but judging by what the foot soldier has, that would give me a 38.3% damage negation against striking attacks. If that's how it works. So essentially you have your physical negation and then the specific damage negation as well. That would be kind of weird, and I wish that they would actually explain if that's how it works, but yeah, it might be. Now, that doesn't really change the fact, though, that the damage scaling with magical is weird. And that's also something that I wish... I mean, if your own menu would explain that better, you would then also be able to tell what this actually does. Because the weird thing here is... Let's do this, right? Let's put in magic scaling. Now, technically, our base attack is now much, much lower. So you would expect that instead of 81 or 82 damage, now we're only dealing 60 or something. That's what I would assume happens. It's 97 instead of 102. Right? So... let me get rid of you real quick. 78. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. So yeah, how does this make sense exactly? If I'm currently dealing 78 damage, that's only 3 less than before, even though my base attack is much, much lower. Doesn't that logically mean that it does work the way that I thought it worked before? So I am actually, in this case, dealing physical and magical damage at the same time. The weird thing is that the overall value still results in a damage loss, and that's what I find so strange. Because if it works that way, and I mean, it has to, right? Because judging by the actual physical attack power, my physical attack power is now 94 compared to 146 before. And remember, so my standard power was 148. That resulted in 82 damage. 146 meant it resulted in 81 damage. Now, if we extrapolate from that, even though there might be some weird rounding going on, but still, if we extrapolate from that, you would think that around 140 damage would result in 78 damage on these opponents specifically, right? And we can actually do, let's see, heavy is probably the worst thing that I can do, right? Because that results in, what, 136 damage. So let's try this and see what kind of damage I deal now. Technically, I should now deal less than 78, I think. Yes. So this is doing 90 now. I actually need 3 hits to kill him. 71. Okay. Okay. Cool. So that's established then. So currently I have 36, and that results in, so 136 attack power deals 10 less damage than 146 attack power. Interesting, because that means that it almost deals exactly the same, even though there has to be some percentage rounding in the back. Interesting. I don't want to test too much because it's probably not the most exciting thing to watch, but I do want to know how these things work. So yeah, so we can, with all of these, it's literally our attack value that matters. So we can just, if we try to compare these, it's literally the overall attack power that matters. Right. So, what does this magic do then? What does this mean? If we're dealing a 94, so if 146 damage results in a 81 damage hit, 136 damage results in a 71 damage hit, with 94 damage, you would assume we're dealing now about, instead of 71, we're dealing about 50 damage to them or something, right? Again, with rounding and stuff, I don't really know how it works. I don't know if it's like purely additive or something, or if there is some sort of percentage value that gets calculated. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, our base damage should be about 50. Something around that, right? Technically, what is this, 94? 40 less than before. 40 less than before would be 31. I don't think it's actually that low. Although, you know what? Yeah. Maybe that is what's going on here. And what I'm so confused about. You know what? I think that's the solution to this whole thing. So what I was confused about is, I thought, technically, magic should be probably the better damage value, right? Just judging by my own defensive values, I thought that magic would essentially be the stronger thing, right? Magic should, in my opinion, be stronger, or not in my opinion, rather, by observation of what I've seen about the damage in this game so far. Magic should be better than physical damage against these enemies specifically, because they have good armor against physical stuff, but not necessarily against magical things. Okay. If we assume that is true, I was confused as to why I was dealing less damage, because again, if we just add these two numbers together, it's like 100 it's 200, right? It's actually exactly 200 in this case, which is obviously a lot more than 148. But what happens is you need to cross some initial threshold of armor that these guys have, right? So with 148 base damage, I'm dealing 82 damage to them directly. Again, I'm ignoring weird rounding or percentage-based calculations here, which I do think exist, but not, I think they play not that much of a role as I originally thought they would. Because what I thought was, right, you have, let's say, 20% damage mitigation, so 146 times 0.8, essentially, right? And then if you hit that same enemy with 94 damage, it would also calculate it 94 times 0.8, right? Same percentage-based damage negation. I don't think that's how it works. I actually think that they have, with whatever armor they're wearing, they have a certain amount of actual damage that gets negated. So not a percentage value. I mean, there might still be some like rounding going on. I don't necessarily know. Or maybe there is some sort of base damage that always gets through. I don't know. We would only really be able to tell if I had a weapon that deals, let's say, 30 damage, what that would result in. But I think that, if 148 base damage results in an 82 damage on the opponent, the difference there is about, 66, right? So what that means, I think, is that I need to deal at least 66 damage as a base value in order to even deal damage, right? There might be a thing where you always deal at least 1 or some sort of base value, so that's something I don't know. But I do think that to some degree, you need to deal at least 66 damage. So what that means, if I'm dealing 94 base damage, it still negates 66 of that, right? Just with the other value as well. Meaning I only deal 30, no, not even that, 28 damage, right? So it still results in 78 damage at the end. Why? Because I'm also dealing 106 magic damage, right? And same thing there. So again, minus some sort of weird rounding calculation stuff. But to that 28 damage, then they add the magic damage on top. Now, I'm not dealing 106 magic damage, because from that, they subtract whatever magic negation the enemy has, right? Which in this case seems to be around, 106 minus 28 is 78. Yeah, seems to be 28, right? No, wait, seems to be 52, I think. Oh, wait, 52? What am I saying? 56, right? So, I'm dealing 28 physical, but I'm still doing 78 damage, which means that there is, I'm missing, so my magic damage results in, 50 damage then? It's not actually that much. I mean, yeah, you can see it's a lot more than the physical damage, right? So their magical damage negation is less. It's like 50 or something compared to 66 physical damage negation. So my overall damage is almost the same, but the problem is because my base values are very low, it ultimately, even though the combined attack strength essentially is better, it ultimately results in less damage. So I think the conclusion here would then be that the less armor your opponent has, the less damage negation they have, the stronger these sort of combined weapons become that have both physical and magical attacks. Well, or if your opponent literally has 0 magic negation, then I guess it would also be better, although that does seem to be fairly rare. The reason why I don't like this is because if we go with the magic scaling, and then you just look at your menu, it tells you are supposedly doing 201 attack strength. way better than what I had before. What it doesn't tell you is, because of your low base values, it actually results in less damage overall. I think that this is pretty bad. Not only do they not explain it at all, like why include a help menu like this if the description of it is literally telling you almost nothing? That's unfortunate. Well, at least now I know how it works in principle. I think that's... I don't know. I wish they wouldn't drop your base damage that much. I mean, sure, it would maybe be... But that's the cool thing about this, right? I mean, you get this really cool magic, and you get magic scaling. I think that should result in a stronger weapon, honestly. I think it's actually quite disappointing that they drop your base attack power by that much. That just seems unnecessary. And yeah, this is ridiculous, right? Physical, like it literally says, so the whole section is called attack power with the sword symbol next to it. And then you have physical, magical, fire, lightning, and then the description of it literally is what is already on screen. I'm sorry, but can they not just say, all right, this is how damage gets calculated? They don't have to insert like a formula or something, right? They don't have to throw math in it, but at least give me an idea of how that might be calculated. Why? Such a weird... Why do you have to go out? This should be unnecessary. Why do you have to go out and test this shit? Why can't the game not just straight up tell you what the thing is? Why it works the way it works? Okay, well, at least now I know how it does it. So again, we can, if you want to sort of play around with this, obviously, I think, especially towards the end game, when scaling actually plays a larger role compared to your base damage, having these options will probably be pretty cool, I'd imagine. I wonder if we'll find Ashes of War that change bows or whatever. Wait, why can I change my bow but not the crossbow? Interesting. Then I'd imagine there's also going to be things for shields, hopefully. Man, why do they have to do it like this? Why do I have to test this instead of just the menu telling me? That is so unnecessary. Oh well. Do I actually want to farm? Now that I'm standing here, how many runes do I have? 1,800. Is there something I still want to farm for? Or I guess... These are 1,600, right? Means 3,200... How many do I need to level up? Almost 6,000. Let's just go back to here and sell a couple of... well, I wouldn't have needed to go back to the... never mind. I think I'm going to take a lunch break here in a second anyways. So... Why do I always forget the the direction where the smith is? Although... No. I want to level first. It doesn't make sense to buy the Black Flame incantation if I'm not on the correct level to use it.
Well, I took you for no matter it's lay out your own.
Yeah, you always think I'm dead. Okay, I need, what, 5,900... fuck, let me actually look at the actual value. No... 5,915.
Back already, no matter.
5,915. So let's sell these two. And then a couple of smaller stuff. Or maybe... maybe these 3, and then the rest through... I can probably sell... Ah, shit, I should have sold the, this stuff first, right? Let's see. These are all worth 100. Where are the mushrooms, by the way? I think I have like an insane amount of mushrooms at this point. Yeah, 42. So these are worth 10 as well. What did I say? 539. So that's 4, 5, 6. Okay. And another point in faith. So, next level... That's so many rooms. So the next level is 6,200 runes, and then I also need 6,000 additional runes to buy the Black Flame stuff. Okay. I wonder what Black Flame magic is based upon, though. Because this increases my fire damage, right? I wonder if it's just base magic or also fire? Oh no, that's my defensive power, I'm an idiot. Although, yeah, I mean, question still stands, though. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. At least we made some progress, right? We definitely made some progress. Not as much as I maybe would have liked to make, or rather not as much progress as I think I should have made. I wish the... Oh, well, this doesn't look too bad. Well, yeah. Man, the game's so cool. I think, well, the cookbook that we found earlier, right, is literally called Cookbook something 10. So I do think somehow you're not really supposed to be in Stormvale Castle yet. I honestly think that the reason why these nights are so tough is because I'm literally, like, I'm in the castle way too early, I think, is the problem here. But the game still leads you to it. I don't really understand that. And don't get me wrong, like, the game is so absolutely phenomenal in so many different ways. So these kind of smaller things, just the smaller things that are bad about it, just stand out so much because the rest is so awesome, right? I mean, the design of the knights, for example, is absolutely insanely incredible. Not only does their armor look exceptionally cool, but their attacks are insanely good as well. I mean, what they can pull off, right? The fact they have the stomp, they have this whirlwind thing, they can also dynamically change that, right? So sometimes they can pull off the whole whirlwind thing, essentially, where I think it's like 5 consecutive attacks. But if you get out too early or something, they'll just stop, right? They only do 2 attacks and then do something different. So that's also really, really cool. And just overall, I feel like a lot of enemy types have a lot of different attack patterns, which is pretty awesome, right? It's way, way harder in this game to actually bait out enemy attacks and actually make them, do what you would like them to do, which is challenging, of course, but makes a lot more sense. I mean, the attack patterns that a couple of enemies have in Dark Souls or even Bloodborne are sometimes a little ridiculous because you can, like, you approach them and then you just take 3 steps back and they're doing stuff as if you were still right in front of them, even though that doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, Elden Ring isn't perfect about it. I remember the one night that got stuck on the elevator and thought he was standing in front of like a destroyable object, but it was not destroyable, and he was constantly trying to hit the wooden thing in the elevator shaft with his spear, and it just wasn't getting destroyed because it's not a destroyable object, but for some reason he thought it was. that was kind of funny. So there's definitely, you know, a couple of things that just don't work all that well, or have some sort of weird bugginess to them. I mean, in general, the AI does still suffer from the fact that sometimes they just can't decide whether or not it should attack you, or what their actual sort of range is. You know, when I baited out those 2 knights, yeah, that was kind of awkward. I don't think you should be able to do that. I also don't think that the AI should, like, if they retreat, it's fine that they retreat back to the original position. What is not fine is that they literally turn around so you can hit them with bolts or something from range, right? That really doesn't make any sense. And then he sometimes wasn't even reacting to the bolts, right? Sometimes he would turn around and actually shield himself, and sometimes he would just not react to it at all. Yeah, that's weird. And then also the fact how the spirit summons work is unfortunate. The way they're limited, I don't think it makes sense, honestly. It's a needless restriction on a feature that could be incredible. And for people who want the challenge, and that has always been one of the strongest things in that these games offer, right? Is that you can sort of make up your own difficulty as you go along, right? Because they always give you things that make your life easier, but you don't necessarily have to use them. So, yeah, I don't know. Restricting the spirit summons in this awkward way is just kind of strange. Especially, again, because they sometimes, for example, the courtyard with the giant in it. I'm calling him a giant, he's actually not, but that weird thing that seems to exist in order to grow limbs on it. Whatever. That thing in the courtyard, right? Clearly, they want you to summon the spirits to clear out the courtyard. But because they've implemented this weird threshold on where you can summon or where you can't summon, means that you have to go through the door into the courtyard and then you can summon. But at that point, the enemies have already noticed you, right? So there's this awkward thing where they're already shooting arrows at you while you still want to summon, right? It would make a lot more sense if the summon symbol was already in the chamber before the courtyard, so that you could actually attempt the whole thing with your spirits and not have this awkward sort of in-between thing. But I guess the reason why they probably didn't do that is because they didn't want you to have the spirits to fight the spider thing that has the limbs attached to it in the room where the limbs hang from the ceiling. They probably don't want you to be able to fight that thing with spirits, although that's really backwards as well, right? I don't know. It's just, yeah. See, I mean, so the courtyard, I mean, obviously there's a lot of enemies in the courtyard, but ultimately I was able to have my spirits with me to fight the big dude in the courtyard, right? And then, for example, most of the bosses, also in the optional caves and stuff, you can also fight with your spirits summoned. But then for those knights, or for the spider with the limbs, weirdly enough, they don't let you summon in those cases. And I don't really get what is the deal here? What's the why? I wish they would have done that differently. I mean, I said so before. I wish they would have some sort of limitation on how often you can summon spirits. And maybe over the course of the game, you would be able to increase that by finding a certain item or whatever. But not restrict them by area. That seems so weird. And then also, again, when I did my damage testing, suddenly I was able to summon spirits in that particular area. Although, wait. Now that I think back, maybe I was able to do that before. Now I'm not 100% on that. I don't know. Still weird. It's just weird. Oh well. I mean, the game's still incredibly fun, though. The combat is just incredible. And the stuff that you find, I really, really think that there's a whole range of awesome items and just in general, really, really different things that you can find. Which makes the whole exploration bit really interesting. Because it does feel like you're honestly finding a bunch of really unique items, right? Which is just usually not the case. I mean, I think yesterday or something, I was comparing it to, The Witcher 3, the Elder Scrolls series, and in those games, unique items aren't really a thing. I mean, they are in The Witcher, but there's also just a bunch of non-unique items. Way too many, in fact. Whereas here, obviously, technically, there are non-unique items because the enemies also have a loot table that can drop, multiple things. But it still very much feels like all of those items are their own specific thing. Yes, you can get duplicates, but, they are a unique piece of equipment. Or whatever else, right? It's not only equipment, it's also all the other sort of key items that you find. That's pretty cool. I really like that. All right, I'm gonna take a lunch break. I think I'm gonna grab some pizza today, and I'll be back in about 2 hours, I think, probably. Yeah, and then we'll dive more into Elden Ring. I hope to see you then. I hope you had a ton of fun, even though it was a bit of an awkward stream with all the testing that I did and the weird, luring knights into corners and stuff. Not necessarily the most exciting gameplay, but I don't know. I still had fun. It's still, the discovery of this whole thing is still really, really fun. I hope to see you on the next one. Again, I'll be live again in about 2 hours, maybe earlier, hopefully not later, but yeah, it should be 2 hours roundabout. Hope to see you there. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever you are. Until the next one. Bye-bye.